Now we are. Well, good evening, America. Happy Saturday Night Live. Well, here's the primordial trust. Through the power, force, might, and will of the great nothingness, of the almighty powers of the great nothingness of almighty flow, the great nothingness of infinite beingness, of infinite, endless, limitless, invisible light from which comes the absolute all that was, all that is, and all that is being and becoming realized into realization, actualization, and form as we are now will and commanded to be. Now, being and becoming an active force of higher consciousness and an active force of infinite intelligence within us all now. Being and becoming the great primordial dragon god sun kundalini flames now whirling and ascending up our spines from our root chakras to our central heart chakras on up to our royal crown chakras, igniting our royal crown chakras, i- illuminating our first eye, our Lord Amunel Dragra, our hidden priestly grandmaster Magi Dragon God Saints and Queens, and all of our the 72 chakras in our first eye, our 72 primordial dragon god son kings and queens, and all of our legions of 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 legions legions of legions of legions of legions of legions of legions of armies 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 of armies. Now, will all the forces, all the elements, all the essences, dark matter and dark energy within the absolute all into being and becoming, all of our will servants, serving all of our wills, objectives, intentions, and desires, crystallize them all into realization, actualization, and form as we are now willing commanded to be. Now, being and becoming our own Grandmaster Mother Dragon God Sunlight Beam Mind Ship Merkabah now opening up a supermassive black hole folding out of this time space continuum, returning back to our original primordial beginning, returning back to our original primordial station and original primordial DNA blueprint before creation and humanity and before the fall of our primordial soul, renewing our dark matter, dark energy souls, reabsorbing our original primordial essences, reigniting the divine spark back to its original primordial charge, recharging our infinite soul back with the great mother dragon goddess queen, being and becoming something brand new that's never been, being and becoming one with the absolute all that was, all that is, and all that is being and becoming realized into realization, actualization, and form as we are now willing commanded to be now, bring it all out war, judgment, death, and total destruction upon the multi-universe created by the lower multi-dimensional, archonic, demiurge, angelic, and demonic energies that slayed our primordial souls before creation, using our primordial energy and essences to create this light and energy extraction creation matrix, imprisoning our souls, keeping us ignorant of our true higher and look our true higher selves so it can feed off of our light through this wicked worldly system until now, because now's the time of their fall as our new higher primordial dark matter dark energy self return back to creation from our primordial beginning, traveling through a supermassive black hole, folded in our grandmaster mother dragon god sunlight being mind ship merkaba now ripping through and tearing holes into this space-time continuum, circling all the corners of the earth, awakening all of the holy, divine, infinite, magical sparks at once. Now, all shedding their physical cocoons, being and becoming beings of dark matter, dark energy, emitting a new primordial light, ascending up into the Grand Master, Mother Dragon, God, Sunlight, Being, Mind, Shook, Merkaba, now alone with the infinite soul of Mother Earth, leaving an empty shell behind. As we open up a supermassive black hole, folding out of this creation matrix as it is completely destroyed, as we're all now reunited with the infinite soul as one, with the infinite all as one, now free to begin experiencing true divine love, being and becoming a new primordial universe where the earth is renewed into something beyond any description as our souls now are now free to become our own worlds as kings and queens exploring a new and never explored universe and multiverse in pure love and harmony until this day of Brahma becomes the night of Brahma. Through the power, force, might, will of the great nothingness of the almighty powers of the great nothingness of almighty flow of the great nothingness of infinite beingness, of infinite, endless, limitless, invisible light from which comes the absolute all that was, all that is, and all that is being and becoming realized into realization, actualization, and form as we all now will and command it to be. Abracadabra, Ashe. Crown chakra day libations. Ain the nothingness, Ain soft the infinite, Ain soft or the infinite light. Adam Catman, Atik Yaman, the ancient of ancient, the most ancient of days, Sarik Yaman, the big face, the primordial Christ, Ashe. Absolute emanations, the supernal holy universe manifesting as our holy divine infinite magical names, Ashe. The great abyss of Gnosis, the crown of Zerampin, the small face, the indwelling Christ, the black hole kingdom, Ashe. Berea, form, creation, and paradise, manifesting as our holy, divine, infinite, magical, dark archangels and demons, Ashe. Yetzirah, formation, manifesting as our holy, divine, infinite, magical orders of dark angels and demons, Ashe. Ashia, the actual physical world in the making, manifesting as our holy, divine, infinite, magical, earthly kingdom, Ashe. Yeshida, the holy, divine's magical spark, manifesting as our holy, divine, infinite, magical will, Ashe. Heya, our holy, divine, infinite, magical life force, manifesting as our holy, divine, infinite, magical desire, Ashe. Neshama, our holy, divine, infinite, magical heavenly soul, manifesting as our holy, divine, infinite, magical heavenly thoughts, Ashe. Ruach, our holy, divine, infinite, magical heaven, our holy, divine, infinite, magical soul, manifesting as our holy, divine, infinite, magical words spoken through us, Ashe. Nephish, our holy, divine, infinite, magical earthly soul, manifesting into realization, actualization, and form as we are now willing commanded to be, Ashe. Netzik, the supernal crown, Ashe. Hakma, the wisdom, the supernal father, Ashe. Bana, understanding and intelligence, the supernal mother, Ashe. Da, the great abyss of gnosis, the chaos spirit, Ashe. Hased, mercy, Ashe. Gabora, judgment, Ashe. Tiferet, beauty, Ashe. Netzik, victory, Ashe. Had, glory, Ashe. Yesod, foundation, Ashe. Malkut, the kingdom, Ashe. The power, force, might, will of the great nothingness of the almighty powers, of the great nothingness of almighty flow. The primordial cosmic flower constantly blooming the absolute all into being, Ashe.
All the God, nothing unknown, Ashe, God.
Ashe.
Your 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 mantra is too long.
Mm.
You can replace army of armies with Armada, right? You know that, right? Armada.
Armada. Mm.
You know Armada. You know what Armada is, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Army on top of armies on top of armies in a mark is in a martyr, like a martyr.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Oh, you over there smacking up.
raisins. Yeah, that's my weekend treat I give myself. They help clean me up.
That's too much information.
Mhm.
we don't need we don't need to know your intimate.
Okay, you're right about that. So, what's been on your mind?
Nothing much.
Well, you wanted to talk about get into this, the financial aspect of energy. What's going on right now. We're talking about the bond market and interest rate and how all this stuff is now really, really starting to come ahead. Um, yeah, interest rates on the long end of the yield curve on the 30-year Treasury bond, which is pretty much the benchmark of all interest rates. I mean, since uh, 2021, they've fallen like a rock, unlike anything I've ever seen before in my life. And that's actually a harbinger of what's to come later. The bond market tells you what's going to happen in advance. It's a very intelligent market. It's conscious and tells you where interest rates are headed. It's telling you that something really, really, really bad is here, and it's going to be unlike anything we ever seen because the levels on the chart, the indicators have fallen to levels that we've never seen in our lifetime, which is only predicting something that we've have yet to experience in our lifetime. But we're on the verge of experiencing it now.
Great Depression on steroids.
Yeah, the Great Depression on steroids. But that wasn't the only depression we ever had. We had many depressions. We had we had
First, this will be real. This economy has never been stable. It's always been fluctuating and turmoil, in between turmoil and stability, always. And the thing about it is how it's set up in a fraudulent way, in a way that is not um, solvent, right? If a government is not sovereign, a sovereign meaning paying all his bills, being able to pay his own bills, sovereign,
well,
right?
see,
And
this government,
go ahead.
well, we're built on a debt system. So
And that's the
it's a
problem,
system.
and that's the problem right there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an evil system. I mean, the only true source of money that we're supposed to have is gold and silver, but they took us off of that so they can create this fiat currency. And by creating this fiat currency, this made it very possible for a select few to become ridiculously wealthy in this fiat currency. And in enslaving the rest of the population, they have us playing musical chairs.
Well,
And
no, the signs of the end of an economy is when the most non-talented, no skill having people are millionaires now. That's
well,
when, that's when you know the economy is failing.
well, Well, you're talking about like these people that in the entertainment business that are getting paid
Well,
all this.
that too, but I'm talking about influencers online, and internet influencers. You got a lot of millionaires that are YouTube influencers, and they millionaires, bro, off of YouTube, off of doing videos and content on YouTube and all these other. They're millionaires, bro, off of that bullshit.
Well, okay, that happens. Okay, this is something that always happened in the economy. It happened during the tech boom. You had people that became millionaires. I mean, dumb fuck motherfuckers that bought these mysterious companies that produce nothing, but their stocks when the price of their stocks went to the moon based on nothing. And so a lot of people thought they were masters of the universe. Okay. A lot of people think they're the master of the universe today. But all of that reversed. And all of that was based on the monetary system implemented by the central banks. The central banks, all they do is follow the 2 year note, whichever direction the yield on the 2 year note goes, that's where they go. And now we're in what I call a death cross. See, they were chasing the 2 year note, they were behind it, but now they passed the 2 year note. And the 2 year note, the yield is below the Fed fund rate. And every time when that happens, uh, that's it right there. When that 2 year note, when the yield on the 2 year note drops, that's telling us that something bad is here. And then eventually that's where the Fed fund rate will go. And people were talking about rates were going to keep going up, they were going to keep hiking. Nope, I was telling them nope, they're going to follow the 2 year note. Whichever direction that goes, that's where they're headed.
But this is the result of years and years and years and years, over 100 years of just bad management of the economy, bro.
Yeah,
Bad
well, yeah, but this
in the,
history,
in the favor of the multinationalists who own the banks. It's in their interest. It's like how you can this is an example of, remember in 2008
mhm.
2008 there was a crisis based on the banks were failing. Remember, they said the banks were
Well,
failing.
yeah, I was a commodities broker then, and I,
Let me finish, brother. The
uh-huh.
banks were so called fell in 2008, whatever, whatever, and
Mhm.
they had discovered that the banks were predatory loaning to people, and that was actually kind of triggered the economy to have a low in 2008. I'm thinking, yeah, it was the bailout, right? 2008.
Yeah, but all the bad loans happened after the tech bubble burst. You see, it all started with Greenspan. When the tech bubble burst, he hiked interest rates, the Fed fund rate from like 6 or 5.5% down to 1%. And the yield on the 30-year treasury bonds fell from like 5 and 3/4 or 6% down to something stupid. And so, like I said, that's the benchmark of long term rates. So, what happened? That sent mortgage rates down to record lows. And when mortgage rates went to record lows, home prices exploded. Okay. So then these people, their homes, the equity in these homes was going through the roof, and interest rates stayed low for a while. And so, as long as interest rates stayed low, them home prices will continue to go up, and it worked. And what happened was, yeah, the banks were making these liar loans, what they were calling them. I mean, if you just breathe, they loaned you money to buy a house because they knew what was going to happen on the other end. On the other end, Greenspan in 2000, 2004 or 2000. 2004 or 2003, he started hiking short-term interest rates. He hiked them for 2 years straight. And he hiked from 2004 all the way to 2006. And then those alternative loans, all those loans that in mortgages that people got when interest rates were real low, the ones that readjusted, they readjusted when as interest rates were higher. They got them low, but when they readjusted from down here to way up here. And then people, and then the the equity value of the homes went down as the rates went up. See, when interest rates go up, at the principal of the bond or the asset goes down, and that's what happened to those people homes. And then they thought that shit was going to go on forever, but they forgot you have to follow the monetary policies implemented by the central banks. They know now, but they didn't know then. And even when the tech bubble burst, people like Warren Buffett and what's his name, Microsoft, Bill Gates, they lost money too then, but they learned a lot since then. But when they were all losing money in the equities, shit, I was in commodities. We were cleaning house, buying future options on the 30-year Treasury bond, the 10-year note, and the 90-day euro dollars, which was pegged into the LIBOR rate, which they replaced with something else called SOFR. And so the euro dollars was like one of Wall Street's best kept secret. And during the bubble, if you was trading euro dollars, as interest rates were coming down to 1%, the price of those contracts went through the roof, and they were traded 10 years out. So and they're traded on a quarterly basis, like March, um, June, September, and December. And they also have in between months called the bastard months. So you can just buy the further out ones that were yielding higher interest as interest rates were going down. So they would have to project lower interest rates with higher prices. And it was like taking candy from a baby. It was like being in a dairy farm uh, full of fat cows, and you just pull up a stool and just milk one at a time. Now, my only problem was that I was a pioneer. I was the black sheep. I never experienced that before. I didn't know really knew what the hell I was really dealing with, the power of what I was dealing with. And so I didn't take things as serious as I should have. And I found out when it was over with. But I said, I understand this process and I understand it's going to happen. It's going to repeat itself again. And when it do, I'm going to be ready for that one. And it did in '08, '06, '07, '08. When they finished hiking interest rates in '06, it took a little while for those higher interest rates to kick in. They didn't really kick in until like the the end of the summer of 2007, and then that shit started kicking in, and the market started crashing. Euro dollars and treasuries were going through the roof. Interest rates was crashing, and then the shit reversed in early 2008. Bonds went down, interest rates went up, and stock prices went back up and retested the highs, and I think made a double top like we just did now. We're repeating the same thing.
Right there is where they have this conundrum of with us as a people not making the connection with these policies and how it affects the economy. We're not making the connection because they're continuing to have a pansy system, a Pansy scheme going on, and the people are just going along with it. And it's
Well,
like, for the
yeah.
most part, like no one is like really making. Remember, and there was what was the Occupy Wall Street was the
Hmm.
only time in history that anybody targeted a institution that was in charge of damn near basically they enslaving us with the economy, bro. Period. They
Hmm.
enslaving us with the economy.
Yeah, it's enslavement, but at the same token, it offers every adversity has an equivalent advantage. Every
Yeah,
adversity comes with an equivalent advantage.
no, I
So
agree. We have to be
there,
wise of how the people see. We constantly keep thinking like poor people. We need to think like people. I'm not talking about people. I'm not talking about people who got a couple of millions. I'm talking about multi-billionaires.
got to think
I'm
like the
thinking,
one.
how do they think? That's the thinking process.
Hmm. Yeah, because it's the one percenters who controls 90% of the wealth or more.
Right.
Yeah, and we only control 10% or less.
And they're
So,
making it lesser and lesser every time because the people are not aware of what they're doing.
so the key is don't think like the other 90%. Can't afford to think like everybody else. Got to think outside, not just outside the box. Got to learn think the same way the one percenters are thinking, and figure out a way to beat them at the same game. It'd
You know
be
what I learned over years, brother? People,
what's that?
I don't. No one is stupid, bro. People play stupid really well because
Yes.
if you basically basically limit your thinking process, right? You're expected. You're not expected to know. You're not expected. So people live in that insecurity of themselves of they know better. They know what's going on. They just don't want to be accountable or responsible at that level. So they just play stupid. I'm like, okay, but like
Yeah.
at the end of the, it's not even rocket science. It's like even when I dwell on it, I like it's you got to connect the dots. It's a little bit of thinking, and but I'm like, damn, if after and I get it after years and years of not thinking, bro, you get what they call entropy.
Yeah. Brain entropy, atrophy, where it becomes your shit go dormant.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. But
yeah.
see, but the way things are evolving at this time, you can't afford to do that no more.
I
You
mean, at
can't.
this point, what's happening is they have created a society purposely to collapse. Purposely, they created a society to eventually collapse, to drain it as much as possible, to be
Hmm.
some fuel, to be a fuel from some interdimensional beings. We already talked about that.
Yeah. Well,
And
yeah.
if they can like for somehow do this shit again, like they've
Hmm.
been doing, like you just explained, they just somehow the interest rates stabilize and it all the economy goes become back vibrant somehow, right? They do some type of magic. What they're doing, they're doing some type of magic. Mostly, I think the magic is them controlling the collective conscious mind. And they, whenever they control that, they can do all type of magic. The collective subconscious mind.
Uh, well, this is the magic they do. They they do loans. Okay.
And
See,
mind.
right now, see, but they use the bonds as collateral for the banks to loan money. Right now, the banks ain't loaning money. So if the banks ain't loaning money, money's not being created. In fact, money is being destroyed. Money is being destroyed on a level not seen since the Great Depression.
Right.
So,
But in turn, if the money is not circulating, right, that is like the bloodline right there.
yeah. Well, in order for the money to circulate, there has to be loans to create the money. That's how
Right.
money is brought into creation. The banks, they just put
Not
digits on a piece
only
of paper.
but it's not only loans, it's labor. It's people out here breaking their fucking backs to
Well,
make that.
yeah, but the reason why they're able to go to work at a place to perform labor is because someone went out and got a loan and
So you
brought money.
telling me the whole, oh my god, this shit is disturbing, brother. This shit is very fucking disturbing to know that everybody is this irresponsible that they're living in debt. Their whole, even people who got that shit is debt. Like we think people got money, but most of that shit may be probably not
It's all debt. The only
all
true money is gold and silver.
This
And
shit is all debt. Oh my god, this shit is all debt, bro.
yeah, it's all an illusion. Yeah.
But then listen, they're showing you magic right now. This is magic.
Yeah.
They're creating nothing out of something out of nothing.
Out of nothing. And it runs the whole fucking world. Got people killing each other over it.
Over this shit, man. Damn.
Yeah.
This shit crazy, bro.
When we could go buy some land and dig our own gold and silver. Shit. That's the real true money, gold and silver.
Oh, of course. I've been stacking it. So I'm not tripping. I've been stacking that. So I know I ain't tripping when the shit really, really gone. I already know.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, right, you have to have something as a backup with this shit. The whole crypto idea was made based on the unstable economy, bro. They created crypto based on that. The dude who created crypto based on he knew one day it's inevitable based on how the system is run, how the economy is operating. It's inevitable for it to collapse. It's inevitable.
Yeah, well, yeah, this is not something that's never happened before. What we're experiencing happened, you have to go way back in history, way back, and then start. And you'll see that these same patterns have repeated themselves over and over and over and over. And you see empires rise and you see empires crumble, and then a new one rise, and then it declines, and a new one rise, and then it declines. The same pattern over and over.
That's crazy because you just described how the economy works too. It goes up and down, up and down.
Boom, expansion, bust, contraction.
Hey, and that's how societies work too. Up and down, right? We looking at that's a frequency.
Yeah, that's called rhythm. That's the law that's one of the Hermetic principles.
Right.
Waxing and waning.
Waxing and waning. For real.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because we're outside, we're inside of the what's happening, so we're not able to observe it from that perspective and seeing, damn. And it's only the intellect that even go there. Like most people are just oblivious.
Yeah, they're caught up in the spell. They're a part of the spell. They're living in a spell, doing all these things that they're giving them all these suggestions, and they're playing them all out.
I mean, this is why I always say you have to take your mind back. You gotta take it back.
That
They have co-opted your own mind, and now you are a clone.
Mm-hmm.
You are actually a clone. You are not who you think you are based on being aligned with your ancestral thought.
In fact, the mind that we do have, it's not ours. It was one given to us.
Yes, it is. We are for the most, like I said, we are a clone of someone else.
Yep, you're right.
Literally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
You know
we've
what I'm
been
saying?
colonized and terraformed.
Yeah, that's a good. That's the best word to say. Colonize. And now we
Mm-hmm.
live under subjugation. Now think about this. Every decision we made since then, since that colonization, has been based in that colonization under a program. So could we say that we made any, like, we moving as if we making good decisions in our best interest? And then, how do we know? We under subjugation. We under programming of somebody else who's fucking foreign to this fucking, like, we just, it's crazy, bro. We ignore this shit like it ain't happened.
Yeah.
But the mass majority of us just ignoring that shit. Like, hey, oh, that ain't happening. I'm like, damn, it's less, what, 400 years ago?
Yeah.
Less than
Yeah.
400 years ago.
And my birthday, I was born in 1965, 100 years after we were freed in 1865.
Wow. That is fucking crazy.
Yep.
And that's a result of people who have been weakened to docile stage. Like,
yeah. So we were free 100 years before I got here. And I've been here 58 years. So we only been out of that bondage for 158 years.
wow.
We've been functioning under that spell for 158 years.
Yeah. And that's it. And the thing about it is, you get comfortable in it now. Now you just
Yep.
you right.
But now it's coming a time where you're not going to be able to be comfortable in it, because this thing that I just described is going to be unlike anything any of us ever seen before.
It's gonna be fucking devastating.
Devastating. And
Devastating.
and maybe it's good, because maybe this is what's going to get us all out of here.
Twisted. It's a celebration, man. It's a celebration.
We're getting the fuck out.
Celebration. If you ain't on the God, beyond the gods, because we beyond God. I mean, we on the level beyond gods, because we
Mhm.
recognize that we were here before there was even a God.
Yeah, we was here, but our soul is older than the earth.
Yes, it is. And the earth is
The
old as
sun.
and the
Yeah,
earth is old.
yeah, it
We
is.
see, we think the physical form of the earth is old. No, the essence of the earth
Mm-hmm.
is old as
Yeah,
fuck.
yeah. It could have been a whole different entity that decided to turn itself into a fucking planet.
Right? It just exactly. In memory, it got multiple names. Some people
Gaia.
call it Gaia. Some people call it Ashir, or something like that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different names for this place.
Mm-hmm.
Plane.
Torah.
And this is, and you gotta remember now, this is a plane. This is a plane right here. And this is a dominating plane because a lot of entities develop their soul here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's like a
Mm-hmm.
dojo for the soul. It's a dojo for the soul.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a cooking vessel.
If you watch this, it's similar to if you watch Dragon Ball Z, right? See, I got
Mm-hmm.
I got the
Yeah.
Vegeta right there.
Yeah.
I'm saying, if you watch Dragon Ball Z, it's like when
Mhm.
they go to that other dimension where they be training at, where the gravity is fucking way
Yeah.
against her and everything, and they be in there training. So when they come back over here, they be like, "Oh shit, They super big. They go to the next level. You understand me?
Yeah,
It's
they
the same.
train that high.
Look, they explain it. See, when you see recurring things in two different realities, because Dragon Ball Z is totally different from DC Superman, right? But it's the same thing. Why? Superman comes from a planet that his sun is a red sun. So the gravity, it affects the gravity there to where their bones are lighter and denser or whatever, some effect of the environment that makes them. So when they come here, they like Superman.
Yeah, the red sun make them human. But
Right.
the orange sun, this yellow sun,
Makes them
he's
Superman.
super. But see, another thing, Superman, like if he go fly out in space, the further away from the sun he gets, the weaker he gets.
Well, what really his power comes from is that red sun energy. So there's a lot of red sun energy out there that he can get from. So you can see he has traveled the galaxy in the series, and you can tell that he's activated by any yellow sun.
Yeah, but I've seen movies with Superman or cartoons, comics where he went to some planet and there wasn't a sun or it was something. It was dark or something.
I didn't see those episodes too, but I didn't see those episodes where he went to where the red sun he just became normal. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
That's how they imprisoned him here too. They put him in in a room with a red that gives off a red radiation and glow like the red sun.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. They was trying to imprison another Kryptonian. It was another Kryptonian because it's crazy because how we thought in the initial story he was the only Kryptonian, and now come to find out there's more Kryptonians, and some of them escaped, and you feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And I love the movie.
Yeah, he even had a sister.
Yeah, he did. I remember.
The what?
Wow. I thought that was. I thought Supergirl was his sister. I don't think Supergirl was his sister, was he? She was his cousin.
He had a sister. Yeah.
Yeah, he but you remember Superman came out in the 80s, and then those other Kryptonians came on the planet. Those 3 other Kryptonians came on the planet.
Yeah,
and then,
the ones that was in the Phantom. They were in the Phantom Belt.
That's what happened. They was in the Phantom Zone. How the fuck they get out the Phantom Zone? How the fuck they get out?
Oh, we sent a nuclear bomb out in space, and we set off a nuclear explosion or something, and it disturbed it, and it let them out.
Yeah, they were in the Phantom Zone. They were on Krypton, so they end up. That's where all they send all their criminals to the Phantom Zone in Krypton.
Yeah.
Right. That's crazy because when I didn't have all that other insight of. That's why it's so interesting to watch it and see all the other the dynamics of Superman and the story behind it and everything. Because really, they talking about us, man. So that's why all of that shit's so heavy. They talking about us. They talking about an aspect of ourselves. An aspect of ourselves that's not active in this particular vibration we in right now, right? But we're going to a vibration. Oh my God, this shit about to activate.
Well, maybe another sun gonna come by and activate this shit. A second sun
that we see right there right now. The sun, even the whole this whole galaxy has been changed, bro. It's all type of different things going on right now. That
you mean the solar system? You mean the solar system?
In the solar system, there's all type of objects. Like for example, they just seen some shit on the moon coming out the moon the other day and shit. This big ass object coming out the fucking moon. Right? They got shit is all on right now. That shit going viral. some shit coming out the fucking big ass object and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like they can't explain this shit away. So whenever they can't explain this shit away, they don't put it on the news.
Yeah.
They can't explain. Yeah, what they gonna say? What the fuck they gonna say? What was that, huh? To explain what the fuck was that, motherfucker.
They're gonna have to say we coexist with other species.
They already told the government already disclosed that already. They disclosed that what? Hell yeah, they disclosed that in 2020, 21, 2020 and 21, bro. They disclosed the government literally came out and said, yes, there are aliens. The government officials came out and said it.
And they didn't mean
America,
the ones.
Other countries, Canada officially disclaimed disclosure.
About time. But what they need to disclose what's going on in Antarctica and what's going on in the North Pole. That they will not disclose.
They got a treaty with all these different countries to basically have some type of agreement. They got some type of agreement that's uncharted. You can't go there. Everyone agrees. I don't think everyone agrees, but they got a treaty that all these countries ratified and said no, nobody can't go there unless. So that's a part of the UN. That's probably under the UN jurisdiction.
Yeah.
You gotta examine what the UN actually is, man. We gotta really examine what the fuck that is. What the fuck is the UN actually? That's a good question.
And where do they get their power from?
Right. Let's get a deep dive into the fuck that type shit right there, homie.
Well,
because
that means there's some type of tax that people are paying all over the world that's financing those motherfuckers. There's some type of hidden tax somewhere.
These corporations are getting the tax. They got something called an EFT score, or EMT score, or whatever, that all of these corporations have to comply to certain inclusionary things in there. Look, Budweiser lost $1 billion last year. Target lost $1 billion something last year. All of these movies where they're making these binary characters and these characters, nigga, they lose money. They losing money, right? Billions, bro. To include so you got to understand what am I saying? Why are they risking losing billions to introduce this agenda so tough? What is this agenda means something to their ass so much, bro, that they willing to risk $1 billion.
Yeah, I know what it means. It means that then there will be an energy that's conducive for them. They can deal with that energy. The LGBT energy that doesn't raise Kundalini.
No, it don't.
No, okay.
Yeah.
They're worried about the energy that raises Kundalini because which is knocking the boots between a man and a woman.
Right.
Okay. And if more of us was knocking the boots, raising the Kundalini, not only will our Kundalini rise, but the Earth's Kundalini will rise too, because we're all connected. We're all innerly connected with Mother Earth.
No doubt.
Yeah, we can raise that Kundalini. We can open all 7 chakras, open up the 7 seals, and bring on a mighty shift never seen before.
Why do you think they have us war of sexes going so tough right now?
That don't raise Kundalini.
It don't raise Kundalini. You're right. It don't raise Kundalini. The war of the sexes does not raise Kundalini, and that's the purpose.
No, and it blockages in the chakras.
Right, right, right,
So
right. Because
it's a war.
it is.
It's a
And
spiritual war.
it's a very self-perpetuated war that they got us under so much of a spell. They got us so lower vibration and willing to lower our integrity, our principles to the point where we're under that temptation that the Bible describes. Like, and that's crazy how I realize Christians don't follow none of the shit that's going. I never they don't
Oh,
follow none of that shit.
oh man, you hear all that shit about TD Jakes, TD Jakes, and P Diddy.
What happened? I don't keep
They,
up with this proper shit. What happened?
TD
Oh, so,
Jakes, he's a boy lover.
oh my! These all of these preachers are coming to find out on some punk shit, man.
And then when they say, "Can I get an amen?" They really mean amen.
Oh my god, that shit is disturbing. This shit is disturbing, bro. Coming to find out, all of these motherfuckers are in some type of dark, fucking perverted ass, twisted ass sexual shit, man.
in inverted lifestyle.
That shit is crazy.
Yeah,
And
there
the thing about it is like that's how the elite keep that demon inside of that spell. We said a long time ago, there's a curse on humanity right now that
yeah.
they're continuing to curse you. They're cursing us, and to the point where we have to start countering these spells and rituals, man. You gotta
We have to
start
take.
countering,
Mm-hmm.
right? We need
Mm-hmm.
more us aligning ourselves with our ancestral mindset and countering the spells, countering
Yep.
these rituals. You know what I'm saying?
Countering it and bringing on the energy to shatter this reality.
Right, because we're going along with it so much. And it's like, no,
And
I'm
so the
hearing
best
people.
way for us to counter it is to bring on the energy that's destroying the third dimension,
Yes, I agree. I definitely agree with that.
while at the same time activating our higher DNA. So because we have the seed of the next dimension
Look,
already in us.
they're going to play off of humans' sympathy for humanity when that is dysfunctional in itself, right? You know how they always say, "Oh, humanity," and then people start going it. They start lightening up off their higher Kundalini fire energy that they start lightening up on the shit now. They go into the religion. That's why I say religion is nothing but a way to inhibit your superpowers because they're going to look at everything that the dollar brought from the scriptures talks about. Everything he said is an insecurity in him where he wants to keep all of humanity naive to powers that will put them on somewhat of a level, right? And this seems like blasphemy to you on the same level as God. Why you under the spell of religion, bro? You under a
Yep.
spell. That's a spell.
Yep.
You got to realize these people created religion. You got to realize this is and the power of creating a God is the power you have yourself too. Not only
Yep.
them, they created a God, and now you're under the spell of their God, under the scrutiny of their God, inferiority of their God,
Yeah, and you must obey it
and you must obey it. So
because you make a pact with it.
whenever we introduce concepts that make you feel some type of way about defying. When you defy him all the time, and I can point out every way, you always defy the Bible. You're not following so don't give me that crap and try to see because the whole thing is based in emotional entrapment, right? They try to make you feel guilty, right? They
Well,
try
it's
to
all fear. It's fear of death.
it's all fear based. It's all fear based. It's all fucking fear
The
based.
main fear is the fear of death, fear of the unknown.
Right.
Okay,
Fear of death. So
they
no.
make you fear death
That's
because
why
if
they
you
call it
die,
dark. Right. That's why they call it dark. And connotatively, in the ancient world, the dark was just the unknown, and they connotatively use the dark and demonize it and say, "Oh, that's the devil." And I was talking to
hmm
a brother, right,
hmm
and he just dismissed astrology as the devil. Oh, that's the devil. What about the science behind it, where the people use these understanding of the spiritual or celestial bodies, and they used it to make decisions about agriculture? What about that?
shit. What about I mean, astrology is throughout the whole Bible. All the characters in the Bible are based
Oh,
on
the whole
astrology.
Bible is nothing but an astrology book. Come on, man. You said Jesus. The essence of what you're doing is worshiping the sun. Stupid asses.
Whether it's Jesus, Abraham, or Moses, they're all three of them are the same people, the same
Right,
concept.
right.
All three of them is the point in the middle, and there's 12 whatever around them, 12
Right.
tribes, 12 sons,
Well,
12
Zodiac.
disciples.
Yes.
All of them
Right.
are the zodiac.
Right.
They tell the same story over and over. They just name it something else.
And recognize that we are the ones who those are the archetypes for. I mean, those archetypes represent an aspect of our energy, right?
hmm
That
hmm
we can, and this is the power that we have where we can anthropomorphize a certain energy or a certain elemental or a certain, and we can bring more depth to it when we doing our, because that right there is a ritual in itself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That right there is like an altar. You're bringing stuff from heaven and you're bringing it down here so you can filter that energy or
So you
regulate
can
that energy.
reality.
Of course, that's the ultimate outcome, but you're managing the flow of that energy. It's going to flow anyway.
Yeah, it's going to flow, but you're managing it through all of your chakras, your kundalini, all your you got chakras all through your body.
You're
You know,
right.
okay, so you're using all these chakras to pull in energy too.
Yes.
Just the
Yes.
seven chakras,
The thing,
we got hundreds of chakras.
the thing about it is, you know how you can become the flow, and you can control the flow because you are the flow, right?
Yeah.
So,
hmm
what is it? Are you allowing people who master the flow? The flow of the force, the same thing as the force,
hmm
flow to master over you because you become the flow.
You give up the flow. They give up the flow.
Or they become a cog in the flow, in the machine. They become a cog in the machine, and now all you are is the bigger, like you are, and it's crazy because if one cog break, that whole machine break down too.
Shit, they remind me of logs thrown into the stream, sent downstream to be turned into sawdust. They're going down. They're going with the flow, but they're they're like logs. You know, when they send logs down the river to the goddamn mill to the milling posts where they fucking turn that shit into to fucking wood. I mean, wood for furniture, building shit. They being used as something for someone else to make their empire.
That's what I'm saying. That's my whole point with my analogy of you are the flow. you become the flow. Like, and the
Mhm.
thing about it, you both, right? You are the flow. You go with the flow, right? But it's like a
Mhm.
passive aggressive thing. It's like a passive aggressive. You go with the flow, but you always be mindful of your angles in the flow. Like, it's like when you're doing certain, it's like techniques, inner inner techniques, right? Inner techniques is when you are doing stuff inside of a situation. Like, what am I saying? A situation is going on, right? A
Mhm.
situation is going on. You can't think in that situation. The mastery of us of that is to be able to think and be able to have a strategy. That's called inner technique, right? Because you
Mhm.
thinking inside, you going while you in action, you still thinking of strategy. This is what people are losing, bro. This is like you're not practicing it. We see I exercise too. You know what I'm saying? Weekly, at least
Mhm.
three to four times a week I exercise, right? And
Mhm.
what I'm learning is the breath, the breath, the breath, the breath, the breath, the
Yeah.
breath. The breath, the breath, the breath is so powerful in your life, and that goes back into the flow. The breath is so powerful in your life. It facilitates everything, every activity of your life. It facilitated by the flow of the breath, right? Which is actually when you say I'm spiritual, that's what you're talking about. When you the spirituality is being able to breathe, knowing how to breathe, right? And that's what I mean by the controlling the flow and being the flow at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like it's it's hard. It's practice. It take we're practitioners of this alchemy, man. We're practitioners of
We're
this alchemy.
practitioners of energy.
Yes,
We're yeah. It's all about energy. You see, our ancestors didn't need morals. They didn't need morality. They understood energy. They understood taboo. They understood if you're not going to go out and put fucked up energy out there, because if you do that, you're going to get fucked up energy coming back at you. and
right,
and and you're trying, and then when you're trying to build something or achieve something or get to a certain level, and you have all this fucked up energy that because of the fucked up things you did,
right,
that it's going to come back and hunt you. It's going to come back and fuck you over tenfold.
right.
So they didn't need a book to teach morality. They knew.
All of
They
the knowledge of the universe is within you already when you was born. That's your birth, right?
yeah.
So it's all about accessing that information, accessing that knowledge by mastery of yourself.
Yeah, or allowing uh, yourself, your inner self, to guide you to the knowledge that you need. When you open up to knowledge, your inner self is going to guide you to the knowledge. You're going to find it on the outside too.
You should be the greatest influencer based in knowledge and adhering and humbling yourself to being as open to knowledge as possible. And that's a spiritual ritual. That's an affirmation, bro. You should be
Yeah.
telling yourself every day, open yourself because I've done it. That knowledge should be coming, and I don't even know how. How do I know this? How the fuck do I know this shit, man? No,
Yeah.
seriously.
But see, now you have to get a pen and pad. You have to have a pen and pad with you to write some of this shit down. It's kind of hard to write some of that stuff down because it's coming so fast. You can't write that fast.
Not necessarily for me. I just gotta sit back and just because I can write a whole book in a day if I really sit back one day. I'll write the whole book in one day.
Well,
But I'll be so gone I'm busy and I don't know if that's just part of my spirit. You know what I'm saying? My spirit is kind of telling me to slow down and try to, you know what I'm saying, focus on doing things and that. I'm like, oh, now, I'll be doing more before 8 o'clock than most people do all day in the morning. I'll be up at 6 and I'll be out doing whatever or doing something around the house or I'll be up. I'm just energetic like that. I don't know what the fuck. Sometimes I'm like, damn, this is why am I so fuck? I don't sleep that much. I'm waking up all during the night and shit. I'm talking about that's how I've been all my life, bro. You know, I sleep, but I don't sleep. I wake up at 6 o'clock on the dot every morning. It's like a fucking curse there. Nigga. I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning on the dot. I don't get up.
Well, I burn an extensive amount of energy every day. A lot of energy. A lot. I mean, I'm doing some Superman shit, man. Shit, I get up early, shit, get ready, and then bam, 4 or 5 miles to the train. I put on 4 or 5 miles on the bike to the train, and then coming home. And then, you know, it's a 33-mile journey for me one way. So I'm putting on 66 miles a day. And I go to work and I have to perform. It's a performance based job where you're not getting paid just to show up. You
That part
gotta.
which is defying the spell. That's countering the spell. Because in the spell, at your age, you're supposed to be in an elderly home, bro. No,
I'm
seriously.
being. Yeah.
Under the spell. That's a
Oh,
spell that, yeah, you're defeating the spell. You
well,
defeated
yeah,
it.
I'm under my own spell. I'm counting
Exactly.
this.
Thank you. God
That's the my
damn.
own spells.
Right. I put down. Oh my God. I swear I'll be doing that all the time, man.
You see, man, this time 3 years ago, this time I was in a walker, man. I just got hit by that car, broken hip with a pin and needle. I mean, a pin and rod just put in me with two busted knees. I couldn't even walk. And now, shit, I'm putting on 30 miles a day on that bike and shit. And I'm shit, doing 50 pull-ups and shit. I'm nothing that didn't stop me. I'm walking better now after the accident than I did before the accident.
But we got to go, bro. I gotta get your last words in. We went in an hour or so.
The last word is you create your own miracles. You are your own miracle maker. You are your hero. You are your greatest hero. You're either being your greatest hero or your greatest enemy, or you being both at the same time. One of them's gonna have to prevail, the hero or the enemy. Or we learn how to balance them out, but I'm learning how to be my greatest hero and rising to the occasion because I'm counting on my own self to come through. I'm not counting on anyone else but my own self.
Right. All right. So
And
yeah, that was it.
that was it.
Yeah, I just want to second what you just said, and also go further and recognizing that
Mhm.
um, the inferiority complexes that most people have, you place it upon yourself because now you letting society influence you. You letting your mom, your dad, whoever else influence you to think about yourself in a certain way. Like at the end at the end of the day, right? Who should be the ultimate determiner of who you are and the influencer of who you are yourself? The only way you're going to actually do that, the only way you're going to actually do that is to develop yourself. People lose their development at a certain point in their life, and that's where you fucked up. You have to
That's
continue to you have to continue to develop yourself beyond the age where they're programming you say, oh, just go get a job and you just live, you pay your rent and live off of that mundane as cardinal as existence, right?
mm-hmm,
That's a
mm-hmm.
spell. Break the spell. We telling y'all, you're under multiple spells that they've been putting you under since you was a child. And I'm saying defy that, defy those logics, defy, break those spells, defy those logics.
Yeah, regardless who hearts you break it.
And at the end of the day, you're not here to cater to motherfuckers. And that's what this society is leading us to believe that, oh, we supposed to inhibit our superpowers to cater to someone else who is not recognizing their power. That's
No,
my
that's
last.
not the reason why. First of all, you got to realize if you're down here, you're in the lowest level of existence that consciousness damn near can be in. So you must be down here for a reason. You're down here to raise yourself up.
No
And you
doubt.
can't do it by following someone else or trying to live your life to someone else's expectations.
No doubt. And with that,
Yeah.
we have
Okay. Well, it was great.